Hello, and welcome to Type to Learn in the Cloud. My name is Heidi, and I'm a former teacher and curriculum and product specialist for Sunburst Digital. In this session, we are going to be learning about users, roles, and groups in Type to Learn. All administrators, teachers, and students log into Type to Learn at www.typetolearn.com. Each organization has a unique account code which was assigned by Sunburst Digital. This account code must be used for each login and by default is remembered by Type to Learn. Roles in Type to Learn include organizational admin, who has vision for all users in an organization. Districts are able to have multiple organizational administrators. The next level of user is building administrator. Building administrators are often building principals and/or building technologists. Teachers are the next level in Type to Learn, and along with being assigned to a building, can be associated with one or more building groups or classes. Students are the final user and are assigned to a building and should also be associated with a building group or class for easy administration of the program. Building groups or classes are used to organize teachers and students to make management and reporting easier. Teachers and students can be associated with one class during the user creation or import process, but can also be associated with multiple classes in the building group section. At this time, I'd like to move over to Type to Learn in the Cloud and walk through the creation of a user in Type to Learn. I'm going to begin by logging in as an organizational admin. As an organizational admin, I am able to create users, building administrators, teachers, and students. You'll see here that in this view, I can see that I have multiple buildings. And when I do go ahead and go to create a specific user, I will select my user tab on the left-hand side, which will bring me a list of all of the users in my associated organization. To create a user, I will go ahead and select my Create User button in the upper right-hand corner. On the creation of a user, I will automatically be associating it with my organization. If it is a teacher or student, I will assign the particular building that they will be associated with. If I have a building group that has already been created, I am also able to assign that teacher or student to that particular group. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this student to Mrs. Smith's 3rd grade. I do want to make sure I assign a role. So this is particularly important when I am adding a user. I would want to assign it as a building administrator, teacher, or student. I am going to go ahead and assign this one a student. A teacher is only allowed to create students. Building administrators are only allowed to create teachers and students. User grade is important, particularly for our students. The user grade is what is used to set the default settings for Type to Learn. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this student into the 3rd grade. My username, the parameters for username in Type to Learn are any combination of lowercase letters, numbers, symbols such as the @ or period, and must be unique within your organization. So I am going to go ahead and assign this a username of 5678. Each student must also have a password Passwords are any combination of letters and or numbers and are case sensitive. So I'm going to go ahead. Usernames do not have to be unique, so can be the same for all students. I've assigned this. A first name and last name is required. So I have John Jones. You'll see we are able to add an email address. This is not required. We do recommend it for teachers. This allows teachers to have the ability to have a password reset with the email address. I am going to go ahead and create my user. You'll see this user was created, and on that import, if I were to go ahead and type in Jones, we had John Jones with his username. He was assigned to this building, assigned to this group. His role was a student, and his grade is listed as grade 3. If I'd like to edit any of those features, I am able to go ahead and edit this student's profile. I am also, though, able to modify the group that a student is in or a teacher is in a separate section. This can be important if you have particularly teachers who may be associated with multiple classes or groups. To access the building groups, I am going to go ahead and select my building in my navigation because I do need to choose the particular navigation bar that I am going to. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the East building. And you'll see down here in the lower left-hand corner, there is a building groups. I am going to go ahead and select building groups. And this will provide me with a list of all of the groups or classes that are in this particular building. I can create a group with a specific name if I'd like to create those initially. Or if I have some that are already created and I'd like to modify the members of those, I can do that. So I am going to go ahead here and I'm going to select Ms. Getz's 3rd grade class. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see that there's one teacher associated with it, along with multiple students. If I'd like to add a user to Mrs. Getz's class, I can go ahead and add or remove users. This will not modify my student's login. It will, or student progress. It will just change the ability for teachers to find the reporting features. So you can see there are too many members to show. I am going to go ahead and search for John. So we have here John Jones, Dylan John. I can add this student to the class if I'd like, just by highlighting the student's name and saying I'm going to add this student to this class. If I'd like to remove a student or remove a teacher, I can go ahead and the reverse process, highlight this student and go ahead and remove that student, and they will be disassociated with that particular building group or class. One of the benefits, so if I return back to my groups, of organizing and associating students in groups is particularly in the reporting feature. So if I were to go to my student reports as a teacher or administrator, I can see full reports for a group of my students. I'm going to go to a status report, and I'm going to go to my East Elementary, and now I'm going to select Mrs. Brown's 4th grade class. And if I were to generate her status report, this would give me a very quick overview of the students that are in her class. So again, it makes it much easier to create those reports if we have students who are associated in that group or class. Students, again, were able to be added to a group in the initial user creation process. Students can also be incorporated and associated with a group through the import process. That will be covered in a subsequent webinar. Thank you for taking the time to learn about roles, groups and users in Type to Learn. If you have any questions, feel free to visit our support site at support.sunburst.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.